Now, though, it's Kai time in the kitchen again.
Thanks very much. I'm standing with Mr. Ben Batterbury. In fact, he's quite a big fan of. He was nodding furiously, saying, Ben,
good name.
For the dog.
It gets confusing. Yeah, it gets confusing. Too many Bens here today. I don't know which one to answer to.
All right, let's kick into the venison today.
Yep, so we're going to do our second dish today, which is a sort of salad of smoked venison. So obviously venison's pretty prominent meat here in New Zealand. So,
This is from down in the deep south?
Yeah, yep, Southland in Invercargill way. And we've just lightly smoked this ourselves. So we brine it in a water, salt, sugar solution for a couple of hours. And then we use manuka chips. And again, you can either burn them in a pan and put them into your oven, so it's like a closed sealed unit, or outdoors in the, you know, when you sealed barbecues is better if you don't like the smell. Or even just a nice pan with a bowl on the top and a cooling rack. You just got to be careful with the heat.
Nice and simple. That's how we like it.
So we're not going to, because it's brine, it's kind of almost ham-like. So all we're going to do is just lightly colour off the outside of the venison. No one wants to eat the raw venison.
I was just saying to you before we came on air that I'm not a big fan of venison, but I might have a try, actually.
Well, let's see if we can convert you.
Yeah. Let's see.
A little bit of butter, every chef's friend, but every viewer's nightmare, probably.
Yeah.
So while that's just cooking, what we've got to go with this is beetroot.
Nice.
So all we've done with the beetroot is just boil them in a pan with a little bit of red wine vinegar, a little bit of brown sugar, garlic and bay leaf.
All mixed together?
Yeah, and you put that in a pan and cover it with water and cook it very slowly until you can rub the skins off.
OK.
And then just dice up your beetroots and reduce your cooking liquor and add it.
We've got some diced up one there.
Exactly, so
like
the
that.
syrup is just the cooking liquor that you've cooked it in.
Excellent. Keep an eye on the venison.
Don't want to burn that, yeah. Then the other part of it is cucumber. So cucumber is quite crunchy and refreshing. And a good thing with venison as well is gin. So that
Really?
Yep. So gin's obviously comes from juniper, and those sorts of flavours with game are really good. So all we've done is I've just made a little dressing using the trimmings from the cucumber, a little bit of gin, and some juniper, and then just pureed that and pass it off.
OK.
And a touch of sugar. So all we're going to do with that is just add that to a bowl.
In she goes. Out comes the venison. So that's done? It's cooked?
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's quite... because it's been brine, it's very ham-like, so you don't need to cook it all the way through.
Now, you were talking about the venison earlier, Ben, and saying that you like the venison here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and... How did you describe it? Mild.
Milder, yeah, that's a good way, yeah. I think that coming from Europe, and I worked in Scotland for a little bit as well, the game up there is very strong. They call it very livery, so it has a very strong liver-like flavour.
Yeah. Our one's not too bland for you?
No, bland's not definitely not what it
We'll
is.
stick to mild, shall
yeah,
we?
milder.
Okay.
So I think it's more approachable game here than it is, say, in Europe.
Yeah.
So just for a bit of colour, contrast and crunch, we're going to use some radish, which again we're just going to toss in the dressing. And I mean, radish is sort of a member of the horseradishy family, so it's got that sort of spice. And we use horseradish powder, but I found that horseradish powder was probably a bit harder to get for everybody. So we're just going to use wasabi powder, which is, again, the same sort of family.
OK. That's going to have a bit of kick in it, the wasabi?
Yeah, the little spice will go really well with the sweetness of the chocolate and the earthiness of the beetroot and all this sort of stuff.
OK, looks like you're going to start plating it already.
I mean, obviously, you don't have to do this at home, but it's part of my job. So
this is, speaking of your job, you're based down at the Rees Hotel in Queenstown, lovely Queenstown. Is this one of the dishes you can find on the menu down there?
Similar, yeah. It's a slight variation on one that we do. We just use a lot more different types of beetroots. We've got some golden beetroots, and we do, instead of just doing boiled beetroot, we do beetroot in sort of 5 or 6 different ways. Nice.
And speaking of the Rees Hotel, you've got a little bit of an exciting competition happening down there.
We're running this competition at the moment, which you can... Can I put it on the...
Oh, look, you can do it. Let's do it. On the Facebook page?
On the Facebook, or go to our website, and you can win, I think it's called the Lap of Luxury.
Lap of Luxury. What's the prize?
So you get accommodation, a meal, and a luxury wine tour, which is a pretty good prize, I think.
And you're going to cook the meal, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Excellent. So do they have to answer a question online, or just go on there and like your page, or...?
Do you know, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Oh, okay, I'm sure you'll find
out on that. Oh, right, yeah. But
never mind, go to the Facebook page, the Rees Hotel Facebook page. I'm sure you'll find all the details there. I'm sure they have to do something. You can't just log on and get a free prize.
Yeah, I hope they have to earn it, yeah.
Yeah.
OK, so look, we're just sort of just gently building it. You can obviously do this less fussy and just have it as a salad.
OK.
Just mix it.
Yeah. Less fussy.
Yeah, sorry. Less chefy, I guess is the word. Yeah. So chocolate oil, I mean, chocolate and venison is one of those... it is a
chocolate and venison.
It is actually a classic combination. And this oil's really easy to make. It's just oil, grapeseed oil, with cocoa powder and just a small amount of chocolate.
Nice.
And we're just going to use some of the gin dressing as well, just to finish that off.
It's looking wonderful. Yum.
And a little sprinkle of the wasabi powder. So that spice will go really, really well with the sweetness of the chocolate. And then we're just going to put a few thin slices of this venison onto the plate.
The venison from down in the deep south Invercargill, I believe.
Certainly is, yeah. It's full of it down there. They're everywhere.
You might want to rephrase that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that doesn't
Full of
sound
it.
full of
Right.
it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're all good, Ben.
That's all right. And then we're just going to finish with some nice peppery watercress, which will go
yum.
great with the game and the sort of spice of the peppery of the wasabi and the radish and those sorts of things.
That is looking fantastic. Look at that, New Zealand.
And there we go.
Yummy, yummy. I'm going to have a try a little bit later.
We'll see if we can convert it.
Yeah, you can see.
And there we
That
go.
looks great. All right, let's have a look at the ingredients if you want to give this a go at home. New Zealand smoked Southland venison. We've got the venison, the sugar, the manuka chips, the grapeseed oil, the cocoa powder, dark chocolate, beetroot, brown sugar, bay leaf. Flip over the page and there's some more ingredients there. Red wine vinegar, garlic, cucumber, radish, gin, juniper berries, lime juice, the wasabi powder, and of course, the yummy watercress. Thanks very much, Ben.
That's quite right.
And Ben is back next hour making frangelico panna cotta with roast peaches and chocolate sauce. But coming up, there's more from Dictaphone Blues, and Daryl Gardner's talking leaving teens at home while you go on holiday. If this sounds like you, send him an email, drop us a line to gmchat@tvnz.co.nz. That's gmchat@tvnz.co.nz. We'll be back soon, but first, here's Aroha.